Hello, everybody. We are back again. This is Jim Wisniewski in Los Angeles. I am a certified health and life coach, and this is
Your sister.
my
I'm
sister.
Therese Westberg, licensed clinical professional counselor. I'm in Chicago. So good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, sis. You're looking beautiful. You're looking gorgeous.
Oh, and you are dapper as ever.
Well, I
You're
shaved my
like our
beard.
father every day.
No, I shaved my beard. I wanted to look a little like the younger version of our father, even though he's super, super handsome.
Super handsome, absolutely.
So welcome, everybody. I just want to start out by saying that we talked a little bit last week about talking about the 5 stages of grief, and there's an article going around on Instagram called "That Discomfort You're Feeling Is Grief" by Scott Baronato, and it interviews David Kessler, who wrote the book on grief, really, with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and it talks about what we're going through right now and how we are all going through the 5 stages of grief. And we can touch on that, but then I'd like to kind of move on from there. So if you want to talk a little bit on that, and then we'll just,
Yeah.
talk about what's going on with everybody.
Just to briefly mention the 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining.
Bargaining, my favorite one, the one that I do most. I will be a better golfer.
Deals, right?
If we go back out and golf, I will practice. I will get better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll golf with you then. We'll do it
That'll
together.
That'll be fun.
And then there's depression sets in, and then there's acceptance. And I'm just, a lot of people are familiar with those stages already, and I just don't want to take so much time because as we talk, we're going to go through all those stages anyway. I think one of the main things to focus on is the fear, because the grief and fear kind of go together, don't they?
Yeah.
Grief is when something that we have feared has now come true, or it's something that we fear could come true. That gives us some grief, and because that gives us a sense of feeling out of control or helpless. And
Now,
I think a lot of it.
can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
So this idea of what we think might come true, and I know this is true for me. Every time I sniffle, every time I have a little wheeze, I think that's the COVID-19. I mean, is that the kind of
Absolutely. I have this little cough going on. I'm like, I have to keep reminding myself because I keep thinking, oh, I got it. I got it.
I got it. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah. And you feel tight, and then you get anxious again, right? And it's like,
I bump into a wall. If I bump into a wall, I think that's COVID-19, right? That's COVID-19.
And I got it.
I got it.
And so you have to keep going in your head. Okay, wait a second. It's allergy season. I have allergies every year at this time.
Right.
It's still flu season. Maybe I got a little bug. But because a lot of people are getting the coronavirus, and you watch on TV and you see those numbers, which I'm trying to challenge myself to only do once a day now, very briefly.
Yeah.
And I don't really I think you have to know what's going on in the world, but I don't know that we have to flood ourselves in it because it's overwhelming.
Right.
But yeah, that's a fear. And
what about, so we have those fears, right? And it's, we're all a little bit freaked out, and we all think the world is one big infected, petri dish. But eventually in these 5 stages of grief, we come to acceptance. Right. And what do we do in that acceptance time? Or what do we do? What's going to grow out of that acceptance time? I think is, for me as a coach, that's what's interesting to me. And, what do you think about
I agree. I just interjected because Dan did say something. He said, from the news, and when you're watching the news, everyone's telling us all the things we can't do. Like, you can't touch your face. You can't stand close to another human. You can't go to work.
Yeah.
We all know what we can't do. Right. And he said that, we would like to hear some inspiration and tell us some things that we can do.
Right.
So that's all right, with your coaching expertise. I think that would be great, something for you to touch on, or to give us that sense of control, because we had to now learn and focus on what do I have control over, and let's do those things. So,
right,
James, what are some of the things?
Well, I have a thing that I like to say to my clients that like a sentence starter, and the sentence starter is, I am a person who ... What person do you want to be when this whole thing comes to an end? And
Mhm.
for me, it's like, the first, in the first kind of denial stages, right? We were like, I'm gonna have a drink and I'm gonna eat cookies and I'm gonna, right? But eventually, as we come to this point of acceptance, we have to kind of make new decisions that at the end of this, we're gonna go, uh, what rose out of what we did? So, are you a person that has always wanted to meditate? Are you a person that's like, I just feel like if I could just do some jumping jacks and push-ups every day, that would be great. Is there an easel sitting in some room where you wanted to do an art project?
Yes, still sitting there. We talked about that last week.
Oh,
Still
that's
doing
right.
that. I think tomorrow's the day. I think tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow's the day. But here's the thing. Like anything, all or nothing, in my opinion, leads to nothing. So if you go tomorrow, I am going to be Da Vinci. You're not.
No.
But maybe tomorrow, I can get the paint out. I can get the easel out. I can draw a line. And maybe tomorrow I'll draw another line, and maybe I'll draw some shade. Maybe tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to just sit for 10 minutes before I go to my kids, before I go, whatever, let the kids go watch TV if you're able to do that. I don't know what you're able to do. So everyone's got their own challenge with family. Wherever you can find time, find a small amount of time. This is what's going to grow out of this. Right now, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to get present. And I think one thing that needs to happen during this time, as you might decide, I'm going to start doing push-ups. I am a big proponent of the 7-minute workout. Look up the app. It's great. You have 7 minutes in your day. Take those 7 minutes, stretch out before, of course, drink water, be safe.
Yeah.
Take the time to do some calisthenics at home. Do some yoga. But you don't have to do all of yoga. You don't have to be a yoga master tomorrow.
Right. And exactly, that's something that's really positive, I think, that's come out of this is I see a lot when, Eric and I will take a walk together. That's not something we typically would do. I see a lot more families taking walks together and spending time together, especially young mothers who work, like my daughter, able to start doing more with her, 9-month-old, where she'll be able to see his firsts, she doesn't have to worry that she's going to miss his first steps and his first word and all that. So there's a lot of positive coming up.
And that's a great
point.
That's a great point. There are fathers and mothers that are work-a-day people that have newborn children that they weren't going to be able to bond with.
Right.
One positive is you're with your children. I think, listen, I don't want to sugarcoat this. There are a lot of things that are difficult. And there are a lot of people who are suffering I'm not minimizing this at all. But if you are able to get present, to really get present and look at yourself right now and go, I'm okay right now. Let's do something constructive. Then this is the time to do it. Don't, have all the orders lifted and you go back to work and you look back and you go, I could have meditated. And why didn't I meditate? Why didn't I do these things? Start small.
So you're talking about something you said to me a long time ago, which is, how is your best self going to show up today? Taking you back to that. I also want to bring us back to everything you're talking about brings us back to what we talked about as far as that whole parasympathetic nervous system and getting up into it, getting up into that front part of the brain. So the anxiety is real, but a lot is out of our control. We don't have, I want to touch on this real quick. You and I are in that middle generation between our parents and our kids right now. And so a lot of the anxiety comes from, it's not just that I'm worried about taking care of my own health. I'm worried about how are my parents going to get through this? How do we keep them safe? And I'm worried about my children. How do we keep them safe? And my children are grown up. And so I don't really have very much control typically, but right now I have no control. So I do find myself a little helicopter parenting, and I'm sure if they see this, they'll agree. I'm always like, you make sure you wash your hands, don't touch your face. You wear a face mask. I'm constantly shoving that down my throat because I'm trying to regain my sense of control. I feel out of control, so that's something I'm doing. So
yeah.
And also what you said, it's true. You've got to stay present. All we have to do today is get through today. That's all we got to do.
We got to
have a plan for today. You also told me once before, and this really helped me a lot, is don't focus on the end goal. focus on your process to get there.
What's your system?
Focus on your system.
This is a really good time to put systems in place
Mhm.
that we can move forward with, and get present. And, Teresa's helped me many, many times with, when I'm sitting in this back brain, kind of going, let's move it forward. Let's move it forward. What's the, you can make that choice. We talked about this last week. Let's make those choices. Let's kind of go, I choose, this is who I want to be. I am a person who, fill in your own blank. Now's the time to fill in your own blank. This was great spending time with you, sister.
You too, brother.
I love you.
I love you more.
Maybe that may be true. I don't know. I don't know how to measure it. You guys you're awesome. Thanks everyone for being here. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Take care. Love you.